Hello everyone! Wow, it has been a hot minute since I have come on here to hang out with you guys. I have truly missed being active on here, interacting with you guys. I hope this video finds you all well. If you are new here, hi, my name is JoJo. I had started my YouTube channel journey back in June of 2020, originally with the goal of debt freedom. That was our sole focus. And then as our journey progressed, it kind of shifted more towards financial freedom, financial literacy, with a lot of inspiration gained from this budgeting community. I had taken a pause back in April of this year, just with things kind of opening up, kids back in school, extracurricular activities. I was just feeling stretched a little too thin. Part of my focus word for this year was prioritize, and I had come across a really cool saying that really resonated with me. It's instead of prioritizing your schedule, instead schedule your priorities. And that really was a game changer for me. I'm the kind of person that tries to get everything done. I think I can do it all, so my schedule will be totally crammed and I'll kind of be fragmented, trying to get everything done, not really applying 100% of myself and putting myself through unnecessary stress. So that was very successful for me throughout 2021. Kind of some self-reflection, learning how to say no to things, and not feeling like I have to be in productive mode all the time. So I am now back on here. I have really missed you guys. Again, I hope this video finds you all well. I'm really excited to go over today's video, the 2022 goals. And as you can see, I have all of my goals listed here. If you followed me for a while, you know I kind of create my own stuff, put my own spin on things with a lot of inspiration from watching all of these amazing people that are on this platform. And one thing I had seen coming up, of course, with the start of the new year coming fastly approaching, is a lot of people are putting together their goals for the year. And I don't know about you guys, but again, I'm the kind of person who just has these little thought bubbles that will float through my mind about goals, things I want to achieve, and I never really have a plan or even a specific timeline. And there's usually lots of different things that I think would be great to get done, but I also get stressed about wanting to get it all done really fast, never really having it written out. And writing things down with our budget, that was a game changer for us, you guys. And I really think that's going to be the same thing I noticed with our goals as well. So if you only came here for the financial goals, I will try being the keyword, I will try to remember to put a timestamp down below of where I start going over the financials. All right, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. First, we're going to start with family goals. And let me see, what color did I cite? Okay. So for family goals, the first thing that I want to do, the first goal that I have is to go on a vacation. And we have one pretty much already planned. It's going to be during my kids' spring break. I have the time off, which was a miracle in itself. My husband still needs to request his time off, but his work, I think, is easier to request time off than my work. My work, like, you have to have that within a year, like a year in advance. It's crazy. So spring break, we're planning on going to some crystal caves in our area. I'm really excited about that. And we're going to be camping in our motorhome. So we have a motorhome. It was broken down for almost 4 years, you guys, and we got it fixed. But the registration has not been, we didn't keep up on it. And so we have to go through the whole fun DMV process. So first, we need to go to the DMV for a moving permit. And I feel like this is how it is for everybody, but the DMV experience, even if you have an appointment, you're still there for a couple of hours. After we get our moving permit, then we can go get it smogged. And then we go back to the DMV for registration. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. And this is going to be happening in March of 2022. You guys might hear our little puppy. We got a cute little puppy around Thanksgiving, but he is, my daughter is babysitting him right now, or puppy sitting him, but he, he's a puppy. He's adorable, but he's still a puppy. Okay, so next is number 2. Now that we have our motorhome up and running, I really want to go on 2 camping trips. And then number 3 is to put together some photo books. And these are the ones through Shutterfly. I did a really cute one for my daughter for her first year. It's kind of like a baby book, and she's 8 now. And I gave one to the grandparents. We have one. She loves looking through it. But I'd like to do one for my son. And he just turned 5, you guys. So, you poor kid. Like the youngest, their baby book is very sparse. And that's the case here. But I have everything kind of fragmented everywhere. I just need to get it all together and put it into a book. Next is for one of my family members, and just kind of for privacy, I'm just going to write that, that had passed away. I want to put together kind of a book that details their life in pictures. So I need to reach out to a couple of my aunts and uncles, gather some more pictures. I was involved in planning their funeral, so I have quite a few pictures already from that. And then some really neat things from the funeral that I want to include in the book, but I want to really get that one put together. That has also been kind of like an emotional one for me, because I know when I'm assembling the book that there's a lot of emotions I'm going to have to deal with during that process. And I know it will be good for me once I do that, but it's just building up the courage to be able to do that. But I want to put together that book and give it to all of the family members for them to have. So that is it for family goals. Next, we're going to move over to our goals for our home. And a lot of this is on like home repair. So first, we want to extend our front porch. Next is extend our RV pad area. And then along with that, extend a front fence on the RV pad just to increase our storage over there. Like we have a trailer, and then that would also allow us to put our basketball hoop over there along with our motorhome. Oops. So my friend, this is concrete work. My friend's husband has his own concrete business. I have his card and I see her at work all the time. So it'll just be scheduling that kind of in the springtime. And then my husband, our neighbor had actually extended his front fence and it looks really great. So we're just gonna get with him and kind of figure out all the hardware and stuff that he did for that. And my husband's very handy, so I know he'll be able to take care of that. And then next is our get some new exterior lights. A lot of this is focused on the outside of our house. We got a smoke and dill on our house back in 2010. It was a short sale, but we've been going through remodeling the inside. We finished most of the inside, like the big projects inside. So now we're focusing on the outside. Oh my goodness, you guys, this little puppy. So we also have an older dog. And bless his heart, he is so patient with the puppy, but the puppy likes to try to get him to play, and he's an old man. He's like, no, that's not happening. Okay, so last for our house is to get some lava rocks to finish out the edging on our backyard. And we already have a company we went through for our front yard, so we'll just order those. Okay, next we'll move down to personal, and I'm going to change out my color to purple, which is my favorite color, and I love writing in purple as well. Okay, so personal I have split up into 4 categories. First, we're going to start with spiritual, and for this one I want to listen consistently to the Bible in a year app. I have listened to it the last 2 years. Every year I progress a bit farther, but this is the year I'm going to be consistent with it and kind of use it as a meditation sort of ritual with my coffee in the morning or my drive into work. It'll just kind of get me in the right headspace for my day. So I'm really excited about that one. Next is mental, and this is about reading. So I do a lot of reading just as a part of my job. I work in the medical field, so I read a lot of literature. I enjoy it, but it's I haven't read any books that are just of my choosing. And I read a lot to my kids as well, which I do enjoy that too. But my plan, I want it to be realistic and not kind of overburden myself, especially since I'm kind of dipping my toes into this whole goals sort of thing. But my plan is to read 4 books in 2022. How that will look is I will read 1 book per quarter. Let me see. There we go. And I want them to be 2 fiction and 2 nonfiction. Oh dear. Okay. Well, this is for me, so even though it's kind of squished in here, I know what I meant. Let's see. Next is professional, and this is related to some licenses, CEUs, all that good stuff. So I have 2 professional licenses to maintain. One I renew every other year, and I just had to renew it in October. I had to do, I think it was like 36 CEUs for that one, I believe. And it might have been 30, I can't remember, but the other one is every 7 years when I renew it, and it's 120 CEUs. And there's only a certain amount you can do during like the last 3 years. So when I was coming to renew my license, my every other year license this year, I had enrolled in a CE package, and it costs money to first become a member, to then be able to actually have access, and then you pay $12 a month to get the packages or the groupings of CEUs, and they only release them like every few months. You have a certain amount of time to finish that block and all that good stuff. So I have to renew that 7-year license in 2025. I have 96 CEUs left of the 120. And so I divided that by 3, and that's about 36 CEUs per year. So my goal is to get 36 CEUs by the end of this year. And then that breaks down into 9 CEUs per quarter. Okay, so that is one of my licenses. The other one is some kind of other certifications that I have. One of them I had accidentally let lapse. It's not really a part of my everyday job. It's not required, but it's kind of recommended in one of the areas I work in. So I work in a hospital. Sometimes I'll work in the emergency room. And so, and I respond to emergency situations there, obviously. And so one of the certifications that is encouraged is PALS, or Pediatric Advanced Life Support. So I have my basic life support, my advanced cardiac life support. PALS, I haven't worked in the ER, especially since everything kind of changed for quite some time. They kind of tried to keep us focused in certain areas so everyone wasn't going in different departments within the hospital. But I do float to the ER. I actually have a couple of shifts coming up there. So I would really, just even for my peace of mind, I mean, I still have that skill set, but I don't have that certification that is documented within, that I have the card for, to say. So there's that, and that takes care of professional. Next is fitness, and this is very important to me. This has been a lot of a lifesaver for my mental health. I have not been to the gym for 2 months, just with the holidays. Things kind of got crazy, and I can definitely tell with my tolerance of stress and just my overall mental health and how I feel, my energy levels, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna hop back in, you guys, to working I'm gonna work out 3 times a week. And that's what I was doing before. It's just a routine I need to reestablish. And those are gonna be as spin. I really enjoy spin. And then yoga, this is more of like going to a therapist for me. And then next is weight training. Okay. Then as a part of yoga, one thing that I've noticed with my fitness journey and our budget journey, they all kind of mesh together. It's kind of crazy how when you become more aware of these things, you're like, wow, like the lessons I'm learning in budgeting has also kind of carried over to my fitness journey as far as my mindset. And that's really where it comes to like my flexibility and balance, so that I can kind of advance in some of the yoga poses that I want to do. So with that is my flexibility. And I want to be able to get into a side split on both my dominant and non-dominant leg. I was super close this year on my dominant, not really close on my non-dominant leg, but I was, again, didn't go to the gym for 2 months. And you guys, it's the same thing with budgeting. You know, the consistency, the time, the patience, but then if you step away from it, especially for a long period of time, you can still achieve these goals. Like I know I'm still going to be able to get my split eventually, but I'm kind of starting at square one again. Hopefully I've retained, my tendons and ligaments have kind of retained some of their flexibility, but we'll see. Next is, as far as balance, I was able to get my headstand really good, but I want to be able to go into a controlled handstand. And I'm not talking like holding it or anything. I just don't want to kick up into one like without any control. Okay, so that is it for fitness. And this is going to be a long video, you guys. Thank you for those of you who are hanging in there with me. But if all you came for was the financials, this is, we are there. We have made it to financial goals. So excited about this one. I'm really excited to come back at the end of the year and check in on these goals. So my financial goals, I have split into two different variables that go into the net worth equation. So net worth is your assets minus your liabilities. So we're going to first start with assets. Actually, I want to write this in a green. Let's see if I can find my green pen. There it is. Okay. So first, with our assets that we're going to focus on is our investments. So my goal by the end of 2022, I want to end 2022 with $135,000 in our investment accounts. And when I normally, if you've been with me, how I normally report our investment accounts on our my quarterly debt and net worth sheet, it includes my kids' brokerage accounts, which is an UTMA, a 529, and then also includes my husband and mine Roth IRA and our 401k. It's all lumped together into one. I'm splitting it up here, but how I'm going to achieve that is first by continuing to contribute. Let's see, contribute $500 per month to our 401k, and this includes the match, and this is between both me and my husband. Next is to contribute, oh, there's my old dog barking now, $500 per month to the Roth IRA. So I want to max that out. Oh, I think he wants in, you guys. Hang on, let me go let him in. I'll be right back. Okay, so dogs are in. So these are things that are already set up. This automatically comes out of our paycheck, and this is already built into our budget. And that's how I want our investments and some of these goals to be, is that they're just kind of on autopilot. It doesn't require a lot of energy from me. Okay, so we're going to continue with that. And then next is to start a brokerage account. So these are both tax savings accounts, a 401k and a Roth IRA. You really can't tap into them until you're, I think it's like 59 and a half. So I want to create a brokerage account. It's not a tax savings account, but you can access that money before you're 59 and a half. So let's see, start brokerage account. And let's see, I want to have $8,000 by December 2022 in that brokerage account. So from how I'm going to achieve that is from January to August, what I'm going to do is take $200 a month that I contribute to our car maintenance sinking fund, which I contribute a total of $400 a month to that sinking fund. So instead of it being $400 to just the sinking fund, $200 of that is going to go into a brokerage account. And I'm actually considering in January taking $1,000 that's in that sinking fund and putting it into the brokerage account as well. Because we bump that one up after we paid off both of our cars, just to kind of start building a car savings account, and then also as our cars age to have a larger sinking fund for maintenance. So it's going to be $200 per month from the car sinking fund. Then starting in, let's see, from September to December is going to bump up to $400 per month. So that's going to be the car sinking fund plus a raise that I'm going to talk about down here. Actually, I'm going to talk about it next. So moving on to my kids' brokerage accounts. We have had a 529. That's what I started out with my kids. It just didn't feel flexible enough. You know, what if I want to have some money for a wedding or a house down payment for them or a car for them, things like that, you know. I'm not just designated for college. So I ended up opening a brokerage account instead. It's called an UTMA, and we still have their 529, but I'm not actively contributing to that. So currently, let me see, they have each about $5,000, almost $6,000 in both of their accounts. So what I would like to do is end 2022 with, I'm gonna say I put 14,500 in the let's see, kids brokerage. Okay, let's see, and how I'm going to do that is, starting in January, my husband is going to be getting some raises. He got a promotion and then a couple of raises. It's going to be, I think, about an additional $200 added to his paycheck. That's after taxes, after our 401k contribution, and insurance and all that stuff. So it's not gross. The $200 is after everything's removed. I wanted to make sure we weren't falling into the trap of income creep, because we live comfortably off of the current income that we have. So I wanted to give that money a job ahead of time. So starting in January, because of we had been using all of the child tax credit to put into my kids' brokerage accounts, we were very, very fortunate to not need that income for our bills or for living, which I feel so, so grateful for. So all of that money had gone into their UTMA accounts. But that, we got the last check mid-December. So starting in January, from January until August, I'm going to use that $200 to go into their brokerage accounts. Now, I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. I planned, you know, they would have access to that money around when they're 18. My 4-year-old obviously has a longer amount of time for that compound interest, that money to grow. So my friend, actually, okay, so this is such a chatty video, you guys, but I have so much to tell you guys. So on this journey, it's kind of crazy. Like, it's kind of opened my eyes to more learning opportunities. And an example of that is at my work, there is a guy who's on a fire journey. And I never really realized that until I started on my own budget and financial freedom journey. And we ended up just having a conversation about our finances and things like that, and our goals and our investments. And he ended up sharing with me an Excel spreadsheet that I'm actually drawing a lot of these predictions from, because of its He invests in ETFs, which is what I really invest in as well, like the S&P 500. And those typically have about 12% growth. So with our investments, our 401k and Roth IRA, our brokerage account, my kids' UTMA account, those are all essentially in ETFs. And we were with that Excel spreadsheet he has, I was able to put in what we currently have in our accounts, how much we'll be depositing monthly, and then how much that money's gonna grow. And that was just, it was crazy, you guys. Like, the power of time and growth and compound interest. And that's kind of where it really was like, yes, I can't 100% be only focused on my debt, because I'm 37. I need that time for that money to grow. And my kids need that time for their money to grow if I want to be able to, you know, provide things for them when they are of age. So my son has a longer time for his money to grow. I have been, you know, in mom mode, keeping things fair. I was like, oh, we'll keep their accounts about equal amount. But it was crazy. Just that 4 years of extra growth, how much more money he would have than my daughter. So I am shifting of that $200, $150 will go towards Pumpkin. That's her nickname. And then 50 is going to go towards Slick. Okay, starting in September, my son just turned 5 this month, so he's going to be starting kindergarten in September. We don't need daycare anymore, you guys. That's my last kid in daycare, and it has this bittersweet moment, but holy smokes, daycare is expensive. We pay for 4 days a week, and I think this is actually reasonably priced. We pay $368 every 2 weeks. So that's a little over $700. So starting in September, we will not need to be paying that $700 a month to daycare. My plan, so this $200 a month raise money is going to be absorbed into our brokerage account. The daycare money then from September to December is going to go into the UTMA account, with $450 going to Pumpkin and $250 going to Slick. Okay, that is it for our assets. Whew, that was a lot. Next, we'll move over to our liabilities. And again, I like having this detailed plan because I could just say that's what I'd like to have happen and kind of have this pipe dream of things happening, but I have an actual plan. Like, this could realistically happen if I stick to this plan. And I underestimated too, because y'all, I want to be conservative. I don't want to have inflated dreams. I would like to be pleasantly surprised rather than disappointed at the end of the year. Okay, so next are liabilities. And that is, first I'm starting with our house. I want to pay down mortgage to $173,000. We just refinanced our house for $200,677, something like that, for a lower interest rate. It was through our same bank, so we got a shorter term, lower interest rate, same payment, no fees, because it was through our bank. They had a deal going on. They wanted to retain us as customers because they knew how the environment was. People were refinancing like crazy. They wanted to keep us in-house. So that was awesome, something really great we took advantage of. We do a velocity banking strategy. It's very unconventional. I have an entire playlist discussing it, but it's an interest savings strategy. I plan to kick that in to our mortgage starting this year. In August, I want to put $20,000 as a lump payment, pull it from our HELOC, and pay it to our mortgage in August. Okay. And when that time comes, I'm going to, of course, include you guys in on that. We'll look at our amortization schedule, how that kind of jets us into a shorter mortgage payoff time. I would like to have our mortgage paid off in 13 years, is my plan. Instead of 20 years, I want to have it paid off in 13 years. So we're going to start that in August is the plan. If it's sooner, that would be great. But again, I'm being very conservative here. Next is my student loans. That is our last debt. I want to have those paid down. Let's see, paid down student loans to $12,000. They're currently, I think they're at about like 27 or 26,000. And how I'm going to do that is continue my $500 per month minimum payment. And from cash flow, pay at least $1,000 by the end of the year. And then we have our dependent care flexible spending account. This is the last year we'll be able to use that and use all $4,000. We max it out every year. I'm going to use the $4,000 that we can max out to pay towards our student loan. Okay. So that is it, you guys. Lots of goals. I'm very excited to have this plan. I feel like it's going to take away a lot of stress for me, and it gives me something to look forward to, something to work towards with a set plan in mind. Again, these would all be little thought bubbles with about 50 other thought bubbles thrown in. I have limited it to what I feel we can realistically do, and I feel like I have a plan in place, so I'm not going to feel disappointed in myself when I don't achieve these things. I'm so excited for 2022. Let me know how your guys' 2021 went, what your goals are for 2022. Let me know how you've been doing. Again, I've missed you guys. I hope your holiday was wonderful, and I hope you have a lovely new year. I will see you guys tomorrow when I go over our 2022 yearly budget. Bye, everybody.